Previously on X-Men.
So here Wes Huff gives his argument for why Christianity is not a simple outgrowth of neighboring pagan cultures diffusing into Christianity.
In other words, similarities are easy to find if you really want to find them. If you want to, you can find some pretty fascinating similarities between ancient Mayan and ancient Greek mythology.
Oddly enough, the authenticity of the Book of Mormon would probably make this one a diffusion, actually.
The same goes for religious ceremonial practices of the Vikings and religious practices of the Aztecs.
Well, this is awkward. Do you think he knows he's arguing for the Book of Mormon?
However, the Mayans didn't borrow and rework Greek mythology any more than the Aztecs did with the Vikings. The geographical and time differences between these types of parallels, although one could easily draw the lines, proves one point and one point specifically. It's easy to ignore the conflict of details and capitalize on the resemblances. It's the differences that make the difference.
So Wes's argument against cultural diffusion is that of parallel innovation. In other words, even though the surrounding cultures around Christianity and Judaism had similar stories to that of Jesus Christ, he's saying that the story of Christianity is different enough that you can tell that it's obviously arose on its own.
Oftentimes you'll have Christian apologetics and stuff will argue that, well, the similarities between Christianity and other savior cults of the period were just coincidences. There wasn't influence. But one of the ways you can tell that it is influence, that it is actually part of a trend, is when you look at other ancient civilizations. You look at Iran around the same period, India around the same period, China around the same period. These are all great civilizations around the same time, but they don't have religions like this at all. So when you see the comparisons, the parallels between Christianity and the mystery cults in the Mediterranean, note that can't be a coincidence, because it reflects something that's going on in the Mediterranean that was not going on in these other civilizations at the same time. Another thing to note, oftentimes you hear Christian apologists say that Judaism would never allow influence from outside, that they were just stalwartly opposed to it. Even if they said that, the history shows that that's not true. Judaism always adapts. In fact, most of what Judaism is a borrow from other religions.
And this is the accusation that Wes won't be able to answer with any satisfaction, is Christianity's milieu. The idea that so many surrounding cultures had many of Christianity's concepts before Christianity ever arose.
This is the common framework, or part of the common framework for all these mystery religions. This already looks a lot like Christianity, right? So there are other trends in Hellenistic religion. Petra Pekenin has written a good book on this, about these four big trends in religion, particularly in these mystery religions, in the centuries leading up to Christianity. And Christianity also conforms to all of those four.